Your stomach manufactures hydrochloric acid strong enough to dissolve metal, yet your stomach does not dissolve itself. There is no cruel irony here, no betrayal of chemistry. There is just engineering. Your body built 3 separate walls between the acid and itself. When they fail, you get an ulcer. When they work, you never even notice. Start with the enzyme. Your stomach makes pepsin. Pepsin cuts proteins into pieces by targeting the peptide bonds that hold them together. But pepsin is not released ready to work. Chief cells in the stomach lining produce it in an active form called pepsinogen. Pepsinogen is a safety lock. If pepsin activated inside the cell would digest itself. The lock opens only in the stomach lumen when pepsinogen meets hydrochloric acid. Acid removes a small peptide from pepsinogen and boom, it becomes pepsin. Now pepsin works at its optimal pH of 2 to 3, cutting apart dietary proteins into amino acids. Once the meal moves into the small intestine and pH rises above 4, pepsin shuts down and becomes inert again. This is not a flaw. This is the design. Pepsin only works in one place, at one pH, and only on what is supposed to be digested. But one enzyme is not enough. Pepsin cannot work in the stomach without acid, and acid is by definition a problem. So the stomach built a wall, a physical and chemical wall between the acid and the tissue. This wall is made of mucus and bicarbonate, and it does most of the work. Mucus is just mucus. Bicarbonate is just a buffer. Together, they maintain something remarkable. The stomach's own tissue is protected by a pH gradient that your body manufactures and maintains actively every moment. Mucus is secreted by foveolar cells that line the stomach surface. It forms a thin, continuous gel layer less than 80 micrometers thick. Mucus is a physical barrier. It slows down proton diffusion. It is not impenetrable, but it is sticky, and it slows the acid down. But stopping acid is not enough. Foveolar cells secrete bicarbonate directly into the mucus. This is an active process, not passive. Bicarbonate is a buffer. It reacts with protons and converts them into carbon dioxide and water. It neutralizes acid on contact. The result is a gradient. The stomach lumen stays acidic at pH 2, but at the epithelial cell surface, pH climbs to 7 or 8. The cells are bathed in near-neutral juice. This is not magic. This is math. Bicarbonate arrives in the mucus continuously. Protons arrive in the mucus continuously. The buffer equilibrium holds the pH near neutral at the surface. Your epithelial cells are swimming in acid that has been neutralized down to pH 780 micrometers below a lumen of pure acid. This is not automatic. Vagal nerves and stomach stretching trigger bicarbonate secretion. Stimulants of bicarbonate secretion include nerve signals, calcium, and prostaglandins. Inhibitors include nerve blockers, metabolic poisons, and NSAIDs. Block prostaglandin synthesis and you block bicarbonate secretion. The barrier weakens. This is why aspirin and ibuprofen can cause ulcers. The mucus bicarbonate barrier is the main reason you do not digest yourself. It is a moat and a chemical plant combined, but even this barrier has limits. It cannot repair damage that happens faster than it can prevent it, which brings us to the third wall. Because even if acid gets past the mucus and bicarbonate, there is another mechanism waiting. The stomach replaces its entire surface lining faster than acid can damage it. Surface pit cells turn over every 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days. That is one of the fastest cell replacement rates in your body. Your intestines are second place, but not all stomach cells turn over at the same rate. Surface pit cells, fastest 3 to 5 days. Parietal cells, which make acid, last about 2 months. Chief cells, which make pepsinogen, last over 9 months. And under normal conditions, gastric epithelial cells undergo continuous dynamic renewal within 3 days. This rate accelerates if the stomach is stimulated by injury or inflammation. Damage speeds up the replacement cycle. This solves a problem. Acid damages cells. Damaged cells are shed, new cells rise to replace them. The barrier stays intact. Your stomach surface is completely renewed in 3 to 5 days. Meanwhile, the acid never stops. The balance holds. The third wall is not a wall at all. It is a conveyor belt. Worn out, you get shed. Healthy cells keep coming. 3 defenses. Pepsin locked until needed. Mucus and bicarbonate maintaining a pH gradient. Cells that replace themselves faster than they can be broken. When all 3 work together, you do not feel a thing. When all 3 fail, you feel ulcers. How do we know this is what happens? Because we have watched it happen at every level. Researchers extract pepsinogen from chief cells, expose it to acid, and watch it activate into pepsin. We measure the mucus layer thickness directly, less than 80 micrometers, continuous, gel-like. We can extract it and test its buffering capacity. We insert pH probes into the stomach and measure the gradient. Lumen is pH 2, surface is pH 7 to 8. The gradient is real and maintained. We track cell replacement using isotope labeling and tissue biopsy. We can count cell cycles and measure turnover time directly. We test bicarbonate secretion by measuring bicarbonate ion concentration at different stomach regions and observing it respond to vagal stimulation. We measure stomach mucosal integrity using electrical resistance. Intact barrier shows high resistance. Breached barrier shows low resistance and acid penetration. We know this works because intact stomachs do not have ulcers. We know this fails because ulcers exist. But this brings us to the actual question. What breaks the barrier? The barrier is elegant, but it is not invincible. And invincibility is not how your body works. Your body optimizes for normal. When normal changes, the barrier can fail. Two things break the barrier consistently: infection and pills. Let us start with infection. One bacterium is responsible for most ulcers on Earth. It is called Helicobacter pylori. It does not work alone. It works by breaking the barrier in a very specific way. Helicobacter pylori colonizes the stomach lining by burrowing into the mucus layer. It produces toxins and virulence factors. These are weapons. Each one is designed to break a part of the barrier. One virulence factor called HTRA cuts junctional adhesion molecules called JAM-A. JAM-A is part of the seal between epithelial cells. Cut JAM-A and the seal between cells opens up. Acid seeps between them. It reaches tissue underneath that should have been protected. H. pylori also stimulates immune cells called macrophages to release inflammatory chemicals including CCL3 and other mediators. These attack tight junctions directly and cause inflammation. H. pylori also impairs bicarbonate secretion. The buffer system weakens. Acid stays acidic deeper into the mucus layer. 3 attacks at once. Junctions break. Bicarbonate fails. Inflammation swells. The barrier collapses. Once the barrier is open, acid does what acid does. The tissue is digested away. A hole forms. This hole is the ulcer. It is the barrier failing catastrophically, and acid doing its job. An ulcer is not a random attack. It is a predictable consequence of a specific series of failures. Helicobacter pylori is carried by about 1 in 3 people on Earth. Most never develop ulcers. It is not the bacteria alone. Ulcers form when H. pylori meets a cofactor: stress, smoking, alcohol, certain pills. NSAIDs like aspirin and ibuprofen suppress prostaglandin synthesis. Prostaglandins drive bicarbonate and mucus secretion. Block them, and the barrier weakens even without infection. Pills and bacteria are different attacks on the same barrier. The barrier can defend against one. 2 together is harder. The barrier fails when the attack exceeds the repair rate. So far, we have described how the barrier works and how it breaks. But the story does not end at the ulcer, because once an ulcer forms, your body does not just accept it. The same cells that are shedding continue to work. New epithelial cells migrate across the ulcer base. Bicarbonate and mucus secretion intensify. Platelet aggregation seals small bleeds. The repair process is as elegant as the barrier itself. Modern treatment accelerates this repair. Acid suppression protects the ulcer while it heals. Antibiotics eliminate the bacteria so the barrier can rebuild. The barrier rebuilds itself in the same way it was built. New cells, new mucus, new bicarbonate, new junctions. It just needs time and protection. This explains the facts, but it raises a question. Why build this elaborate system at all? Because your stomach needs to digest things. Without pepsin and acid, your stomach is useless. But pepsin and acid would also digest your own tissue, so your body built defenses. This system costs energy. Bicarbonate secretion is active transport. Cell renewal burns calories. Your body pays the price for this protection. But the payoff is protein digestion at full efficiency. It is an investment that pays for itself in every meal. Not every human stomach is identical. Some people secrete more bicarbonate, some have stronger mucus, some turn over cells faster. This variation explains why some people with H. pylori get ulcers and others do not. The barrier strength is not uniform. Bicarbonate secretion capacity and cell renewal rates have hereditary components. Some families are more susceptible to ulcers than others. This does not mean ulcers are inevitable if your parent had one. It means you should know what risk factors you inherited. Your stomach is solving a real chemical problem with a real biological solution. The solution is elegant, maintained, and vulnerable. When it works, it is invisible. When it fails, it is painful. 3 layers. Pepsin locked until acid. Mucus and bicarbonate maintaining a pH gradient. Cells that replace themselves faster than they break. This is not a flaw in your design. This is engineering. Your stomach is trying to solve a problem that would cause most engineers to walk away. It solves it every day, silently, without asking for credit. This is not medical advice. If you suspect you have an ulcer, see a doctor. If you take NSAIDs regularly, talk to your doctor about your risk. Ulcers exist because the barrier can fail, but knowing how it fails is not the same as being doomed to failure. You can reduce your risk by understanding what stresses the barrier. Chronic stress reduces bicarbonate secretion. It is not the stress ulcers of legend, but stress does weaken the barrier. Diet quality and exercise support mucus and bicarbonate production. They are not cures, but they support the barrier. If you have a family history of ulcers or stomach cancer, screening for H. pylori is straightforward and worth considering. Next, we are diving into what happens when your stomach acid refluxes backward into your esophagus. Your esophagus has no barrier. None. No pepsin lock, no mucus, no bicarbonate. That is why reflux burns. Your stomach is protected by 3 walls. Your esophagus has 0. Same acid, completely different outcome. Your body is full of contradictions like this. Systems that have to do dangerous things safely. Solutions that only work if they work perfectly. Most of the time you never notice. Your stomach is too busy working to advertise what it is doing, which is fine. The system works best when you forget it is there. Until it does not work. Until you feel the pain. Then you want to know why. And now you know. Your stomach does not digest itself because it was built by a body that understood the problem. Your next video will explain what happens when that acid goes where it does not belong.